le coaching di bona gale bona
Can I please have the court's indulgence? I want to look at it a little bit, whilst it is not very legible.
Okay.
We took him to court on the 19th. Sami sa enkantolo mhla 19.
All right. My cross-examination was based mainly on the rights you said to explain to accused number 2 at Pretoria North. That's my main concern about the 48 hours as per case number 163/10 of 2018. That's where my questions are.
Sure, case number 163 of 10 of 2018. More Pretoria. Yes, I do agree.
Yes, that's the main case. I'm concerned that a 48 hours, if you charge Ntanzi with murder of Kwanongoma, he was not charged with that particular offense within 48 hours. Eventually, it lapsed.
Bongani Ntanzi kaho bolaya mokesinga gonongoma ila fita 48 hours besochwa lemisha khoro
pelerisha sibona lelwa khorong re mochacha ka mo opi bila ya court.
Well, before the accused is taken to the court, he is entered into the OP.
No, it's fine, sir. It's fine. The way you can explain it, the bottom line is that accused number 2 was never brought before any court in Kwanongoma for the charge of murder.
Salangu mlatufato akaisha khorong Kwanongoma mapile mlatu wa obulai.
Do you agree?
Ile ifela futhi
Akagane lo njeko go jangire rena ka mogoketse bang ka wana re ke mchajitse ka OP mo OB within before ya court. It means impact melor ke mishe court e judge ka.
Well, I do agree with you, but then what I'm saying is that I had charged him on the OB, which then allows me to take him to court on the following day.
Okay. Still with case number 163, has accused number 2 ever appeared in Kwanongoma?
No, he did not.
According to your evidence in chief, correct me if I'm wrong, you said the matter is still pending.
On our side, the Ntanzi is
on our side, as far as Ntanzi is concerned, that case is not yet completed.
gore why ke ra iso fail.
And I don't want to go deep into explanations, merits why I say it is not finished.
I
Yebo
think-
angeke ngichaze igqile ukuthi indaba ngithi ayikakapheli kodwa ukuya ngami ayikapheli case yaNongo.
I think the court gave us an indulgence to stand down that evidence relating to that murder case pending the production of the case docket.
Gore ile ya refana gore re be na kwana ya gore gono lebella ka taba e ge le gore sanjere metse case docket.
Ke nnete ebile brigadier ke nda o tla tlaleletša ka gore why ke re a iso fail.
Well, that is true, but then Brigadier Kinida will come and add to what I'm saying that the case is not yet finished.
But let me just give you this hint. According to the extract that I gave you, the person that appears on that, the details of the person appears as accused number 1 is the witness number 104 in the indictment.
So more all time as witness number 1 witness number 104 kamo go ngwa dilwe mo molato.
Let me clarify this aspect so that you understand fully when this docket is brought.
Kinya gore o bushi shore ga e batlisa dokoto o bushi shore o diragala.
The full names of the person that appears on that on that extract is Bekuku. Sorry, Bekuku. Is Qinisela Bekuku Tindwa Buthelezi. Hence, the initials is QB.
Lena le ngwalo mo ke qinisela bekuthinto Buthelezi.
A go ganetše ene ka go tse gore unit ya rena ke cold case re šoma ka di-case tša gore di fodile ra lefiša di a fiša.
I do not dispute that, but we work with cold cases and we still go back to investigate them.
E ka no ba yena mono na lo mara se se no gona go gore re sa rena le mateng ka mogolo gore Ntanzi o amega ka gwa le gore ka se botse kgoro ka gore e tlo senya dinyakišo tša rena.
Unfortunately, we can't delve much into that case because that might jeopardize our investigation.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Angeke sikwazi ukuthi ngigqile ekuchazeni ukuthi indawo sithi leli cala leli lesaqhubeka ngoba phela thina amacala esibhekene nawo amacala asekuthule engasabonakali lutho olunyakazayo kona kodwa ke sisaqhubeka ngikwazi ukuthi ngichaze ukuthi yini indawo sithi sisaqhubeka ngaleli cala kodwa ke okukhona ke nje ukuthi uma ngathi ngiveza okuthize sizobe sesibeka icala engcupheni ngoba kusenophenyo oluqhubekayo.
Thank you. But I want to put across to you that as per the instruction, that the accused person who was arrested, hence this docket when it comes, it will confirm that. The one that was arrested with this Qinisela Buthelezi was Thabani Ngwenya in a murder case.
But yeah, so doing okay, ya Qinisela Buthelezi nile Thabani Ngwenya aswarelwa go bolana.
Ka ge ke sa fetola gape ke re nka se tsene ka botlalo wena ka gore wena wa e bolela go lokile ba tlhaise gore o thata re ke mara ka mo siteng ya rena nka se ntšhe gore mang o swereng leng go diragala eng.
I'm unable to reveal who was arrested when because the matter is still under investigation. But I can see you are trying to reveal some things, but I, from my side, am not going to reveal anything.
I'm in a trial, sir. I need to clarify every piece of evidence before this honorable court. The instruction further is that both Qinisela Buthelezi and Themba Ngwenya were arrested and charged for murder. Upon approaching, at the time when they approached Qinisela Buthelezi to arrest him for murder case, that's when he was found in possession of this firearm. Hence, he was sentenced to 15 years.
Buthelezi le o angwenya o a soretsweng go bolaya ene ge a tlo swarelwa go bolaya ke mo ba ileng ba mo hwetša a na le sethunya ke mo a leng a hwetša mengwaga e 15
a re tšhetše ke boletše gore di-case tša rena gantši di na le crime intelligence background ka mo gare bjale ke a go kwa bolela mara ke sa gana ke re nka se bolele selo ka yona.
Like I said, our cases involve a lot of crime intelligence. I hear what you're saying, but I still insist that I cannot say much about it right now.
Thank you. That's why.
Vumahuti, yebo, uyayifuna le ndoda ke eqinisweni ke amacala esiwaphethe thina amacala afaka ngaphakathi i-crime intelligence. Kodwa ngiyasho futhi uthi angeke ngakwazi ukuveza ukuthiza ngenxa ukuthi icala lisaphela.
Thank you. We'll move on. Let's just stand it down until the docket is brought in. Let's move into the same exhibit, MM, on page, I think on the same page. I beg your pardon, on page 3. On page 3 of exhibit MM.
Serial number?
Serial number is it's 498. If I'm not mistaken. No, it's 494.
494.
Yes.
494.
Yes, 494.
Do you see that?
I found 494.
The date is the 17th of June 2020. Do you see that?
Yes.
That is correct.
1655 time. Do you see that?
I want to get 1655.
Yes.
That is correct.
The reason for booking out the suspect was for investigations. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yes, I can see that.
That's when you had a discussion with accused number 2 in a boardroom.
Yeah,
I do agree.
All right, let me establish how many were you in the boardroom when you interviewed accused number 2?
It was me, Sergeant Mukhola, and Sergeant Mabena. We're going to mean Sergeant Mukhola and Sergeant Mabena.
Was the interview relating to case number 163 of 10/2020?
Case number 163 of 10 of 2018. No, it was not the only one. It was only all the cases that he was involved in that we were discussing.
All right, including the murder case of Sanzameyu.
That is correct.
My instruction is that accused number 2, when he was summoned to the boardroom, there were a lot of police officers, even females.
Well, most again, Sergeant Mamrut Mohola le Mapene.
I don't know which many police he is referring to, because it is usually me, Sergeant Mamrut Mohola, and Sergeant Mapene.
And the Gabakala was sensitivity very case arena. Arinya Gori, Hovena Tavani Chicago, Arinya Gori information age or is at the
Because of the sensitivity of our cases, we also allow to having many people, because we want to contain the leaking of information, because if there are too many people who wouldn't know where the leakage is. Sergeant Mamrut Mohola Mapena phela ngoba siyasithanda ukuthi kube nabantu abaningi, ngoba mase kunabantu abaningi ngenzeka ukuthi ke kubeke nabakhipha indaba manje angeke sazi ukuthi izindaba ziphume ngobani.
Sorry, Mr. Ngomezula, how many is your client saying?
May I confirm?
Yes, because it's just in the air.
Yes. Thank you, my Lord, for your indulgence. May I place it on record, say that the people that were in the boardroom were Brigadier Kininda, Sergeant Mohola, yourself, one Bongani from intelligence, another male person with the court gave us with braces, and Mapene. The police officers were outside the boardroom.
Nakunale Brigadier Kininda, Sergeant Mohola, Loena, Libongani Ojango Intelligence, Lemona Obazen Shady Chippy Momenon, Lima Bena, Mapolisha Avale Kunte.
And my instructions further is that it was an interview relating to the death of Senzo Meiwa. That's when Brigadier Kininda instructed accused number 2 to strip off his clothes so that they can confirm if he had tattoos.
Mowe never hopefully lehula no Senzo Meiwa and a come Brigadier Kininda iling I would tell to Fachor Buledi Aparoja Horahana or one or another tattoos the Gamumidi.
Ya was all agarma polisa gamo y tola ma polisa kam ga ma polisa la kalo jo ma polisa ke na gamo.
I want to get a clarity on these police that are said to have been outside, which police it was.
Okay, I'll get into that, but I'm concerned now about the number of people that were inside. Even Brigadier Kininda took the photos of accused number 2. Those officers he is referring to are the police officers of Pretoria North.
Mapolisha na go Pretoria North. Maragbola ka mbaba tubane walika hari mo Brigadier Kininda island IG ability son.
Ja, Ntanzi kuleleni Brigadier Kininda owasi go hauswi and awona Brigadier agasomchi Well,
I'd like to reiterate that Brigadier Kininda was not there. He 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 was And I also want to say that Brigadier Kilinda is a seasoned policeman. He wouldn't take his clothes off and take pictures of him.
Okay.
Sakufika futhi ukuthi kwakunamanye amapholisa amaningi ngoba Brigadier Kilinda wasayena wayengekho lapho futhi ngifuna ukuletha isiqiniseko nje sokuthi uBrigadier Kilinda sekuyipholisa elimkantshubovu elingeke la cela umsolo elakhumula umsolo lesibese limthathe ithombe.
What is of pivotal importance here is that at the boardroom, accused number 2 denied having been involved in the murder of Senzomir. This is the second time he denied.
Ibelela bobedi la tofachwa mo boardroom eo aga na gore wa amega mo tabeng ya go ya polao ya Senzomir. That is correct. He did deny. Yeah, what appeal?
Same day, on the same day, which is MM4 in page 4.
Serial number?
Serial number 498.
Yes.
I can see it.
I beg your pardon, my lord. He was booked out at 16:55 in page 3 and
16:55 on page 3
and booked in 1955, time 1955.
which one happened 1955? Yes, I do agree.
And the time between these two, the hours between these two times is 3 hours full.
3 hours?
3 hours full.
Mo nako ya go tloga ka nako e ba montšha ba moseja lebile hours tše tharo tše feletše.
When you booked him back to Pretoria North.
Olo moseja go Pretoria North.
You took 3 hours. Full.
3 hours tše tharo. I do agree.
Yes. What were you doing in 3 hours?
We were younger 3 hours.
Especially when I
we're asking him questions about cases, but especially about this very same case of Senzomir.
Yes. You booked him back. Then, as per MM in page 5, on the 18th of June 2020, at 5:08 in the morning. Do you see that? It's 520.
Yes.
Serial number 520.
Yes, I can see it.
You booked him out again.
Lela mucha happy kadi 19 kadi 18 June. That
For
is correct.
investigations.
Let me check your.
You see that?
I can see it.
Then-
Some people
That's when you say you took accused number 2 to his workplace.
Kimo little nishe milato fajwa kwa ashumang hall.
Amho e ke a dumela. Bjale nka ba go boditšo na gore la lena me awara tše tharo tšono la ka tšona. O ile a fetša dumetšone o tla re iša mmerekong ga re motšhetša no le kae ka tšatši le sentšome ya tlhokofala re wa le mmereko la re no ka mokgo a o re iše re kgontiša gore ka nnete o le mošomong na.
When we were discussing with him in the boardroom, he did accept that he did say that he was on duty on that specific day of the death of Mayor. And then we had to ask him to take us to work, and then he agreed because we wanted to go and verify that indeed he was at work on that particular day. Wayesemsebenzini ngaleli langa lokufa kaMeya sasicela ukuthi angasihambisa ukuthi siyele la ethi senza ukuthi siyothola isiqiniseko sokuthi ngempela wayesemsebenzini ngalelo langa.
Okay. You will further agree with me that the date in which Senzo was killed, the 26th of October 2014, up to the date in which accused number 2 was arrested, is a period of 6 years. Do you agree?
Udumelana na hore utwa gachachi la hobola la polaya senza me ga 26 October 2014 ukutala atlo swara mula tufa chwa bubedi ibeli mingwaka A6.
Do you agree?
Yes, I do agree.
So if you pose that question from accused number 2 as to where was he after such a period of 6 years has passed, gone, were you expecting a vivid answer from accused number 2?
Ulo shamla du fajoro vole ga ga tshile kamera mngare E6 o nagana gore go tlo ba le karabo e kwagalang.
Na tswantsa go ditse pele gore re le re mmotšiša la mathom o tsebile gore se se me go tlhogo fetšeneng.
No,
le tabe o tswantsa e gopole.
No, he was supposed to remember because when we asked him, for the very first time, he did know when Senzo Mewa passed away. No, because it was in the news, he was bound to know it. Yeah,
if I may to ask you, you as a witness, you as Sergeant Mokhani, sorry, I beg your pardon, my lord, as to where were you on the 24th of October 2014, what would be your answer? Now, if I'm asking you now, where were you?
Sergeant Mokhani, 26 October 2018, 2014, no, I'll have to remember.
That is why you reach the hour like a towel or our pool. Some
No, we didn't hurry him up. That's why we took 3 hours to allow him to recall. Yeah, but some
Thank you. But let me just put it straight to you. Do not justify that answer. The fact is, when I ask you, within a period of 3 hours, you never specify as to what kind of investigation was undergoing and what kind of questions were asked. It's only now when I'm asking you, you personally as a witness, where were you on the 26th of October? You now want time to recall or to think back as to where were you?
Can you please repeat and give me small sentences?
Yes.
It's too long.
Let me say, by so giving this answer that you wanted to give him time, that's why you spent 3 hours. You're trying to justify. Because it never came from you that within the period of 3 hours, these are the questions or things that you've been asking. The only thing you said. You were asking him about cases that he is linked with. But I'll leave that for argument. Let's move on. You took him out 8:05 in the morning. You brought him back. As per serial number 532.
5:08 hoseng, and then Lamusha ka mo ngwadeng mo serial number 532.
On the 18th of June,
You were essentially the 18th June,
2020.
that's on 20.
Then you brought him back on the 19th of June 2020. At what time?
Lamusha got the 19th June 2020.
At 25 to 3 early hours.
Lilela Mutisha got 25 to 3. Lilela will say,
Do you agree?
Wa dumelana lena?
Hey, admin.
Yes, I do agree.
So-
Ngiyavuma lo.
2:30, I beg your pardon. I wrote 35 instead of 30. It's 2:30,
Yeah, lela musha ka first 2.
early hours in the morning.
Lilela will say, Kamanzi.
If I calculate these hours you spend with accused number 2, it gives me plus or minus 17 hours.
Ke lebella di hours tse ile la ba le mlatofajwa ke di hours 17.
Do you dispute that?
I do not dispute that.
And-
Ka big law.
During these ungodly hours, what were you doing with accused number 2 for these 18 hours?
Mona ko to le very dia in the mlatofajwa 17 hours.
Kare shetse a tlhalositse gore ke montshitse gore no rile a re tla dumela odisha kwa ga shoma gore kwa mining.
Like I have explained that he had agreed that he was going to take us to his workplace at the mine.
Rile wona
We went there. So I khona lapho emine njengoba esevumile ukuthi uzosisa mine.
ra kopana le Brigadier Keninda le mine all the human resource manager of
And
your
we
statement
met-
wona kwa.
We met with Brigadier Kininda, also with the mine management, where they got a statement over there.
Go sala sa molato la roba se go merepong.
The statement denied that he was at work on that particular day. Yebo safika no Brigadier Kininda lapho sahlangana manager ezalethi isiqiniseko sokuthi ngempela wayengekho emsebenzini ngalelo langa.
Re fetsa ra tswela pele ka investigation tsa rena tse re be sa ami molato.
And then when we finished there, we went ahead with our investigation, which did not have anything to do with this particular accused. Sakubeka ne ophenyo ke olwalungamthinti umsolo.
All right. Let me just unpack this. From the time you booked him out, when did Brigadier Kininda arrived at Carltonville, where
Utloka
Accused number two.
kimchamla tufachwa Brigadier Kininda ila fitla na gomangu Carltonville.
Aksa opola mara nele I think msalo manjiwa aksa opola le na goma.
I don't remember what time, whether it was during the day or it was in the evening, but I do not exactly recall the time.
all right,
Ngisasukhumbula isikhathi noma ukusesemini noma kusebusuku.
was Brigadier Kininda also present with Sergeant Mukhale at the time you were sourcing the information about the whereabouts of accused number 2? Was he also present?
Brigadier Kininda le certain wakala. Na shantse ba le gona really tlonyeka go tseba gore mlatofatso aka le ka mokwetsa kae.
Re bolela ka la gore le boardroom.
No, I'm talking about the 18th, sir,
I'm talking about the 18th.
where you wanted to confirm the whereabouts of accused at the workplace.
No, ga le nyako kwetsa tseba gore mlatofatso wa ka le kae wa le mshumong ka ba o se mshumong.
Ke dire binda o tlile ka morago ka re tshetse re be re memetse gating o tlile a re joina ba re Sergeant Mogolo.
Sergeant Brigadier Kininda came afterwards and he met us at the gate where I was with Sergeant Mogolo.
All right. Now Brigadier Kininda and Sergeant Mukhula left after you had a discussion after you informed him as to the records of the employment. He left.
So Brigadier Gineda la sepela amrao le motore ba komshumong ba re.
No. E buletša go lela botse ke tsene le yena Brigadier Kininda ka mogala ga mine.
No, we actually went into the mine together with Brigadier Kininda.
Ge re feditše
Yeah, was hanging and I'm Brigadier Kininda mine.
ge re feditše ka dinyakišo tša rena
When we had finished with our investigations, once I started to open your rate.
Brigadier Kininda o sepetše le Mamfundisi nna re mabena ra tšea tšele nngwe.
Brigadier Kininda left with Mamfundisi and I with Mabena left on our own.
Yes. In other words, you were then satisfied, before Kininda left, you were then satisfied as to where was accused number 2 on the 26th of October.
So, the letter was so far, or the British as we are not for the guy that you bubble and that on a pile such an Kininda at also be.
Awa re go tšofetša ga re kry-ile le statement sa go confirma gore o be le kae matšatšo ka moka.
Yes, we were satisfied because we even got a statement that told us where he was on all those days. Yeah, but I need to say, over such a statement, it's because I would try to.
O fitlhe wa se go mšomong.
And then to the effect that he was not at work. Yeah, because we try and get him so easy.
All right. I'll get into the outcome thereof. But what I just want to establish is whether, what time did Brigadier Kininda leave? Was it in the afternoon, at night, in the evening?
Brigadier Kininda ula siplana komang ebele monsagare boshego e bereka ngwa.
A ile ka mantšiboana ka gore be šetše ba nyaka le go tšhaiša kwa office ya go tswale.
It was in the afternoon because at the mine they also were at a time where they wanted to knock off.
Okay.
Also to the wood bashayise na semayini bese ufuna ukushayisa so kuyaqala ukuthi wako indamba.
So where was accused number 2 taken to before he was booked in at 2:30? Where was he taken to?
Lela ya ka le yena pele re tlo mo bushetsa kwa tronkong.
E gopola botse se page around I think Albert Hendren investigation le site ya Eastern la sa polone re tsamaya.
Well, I don't remember where we exactly went, but I remember we touched Alberton and went to somewhere in Eastern, continuing with our investigations together with him.
All right, I understand.
Angisakhumbula ukuthi ke saya phika hle loda ekumlayo ukuthi saya Alberton sadlula ke sayofika nase Eastern siqhubeka ngophenyo lwethu.
All right. So now you book him back at 2:30.
Manje ke nase labala mmushetsa mrawo ka 2:30. That is correct. Yebo kunjalo simbuyisela emsebenzini ngo 2:30.
Since accused number 2 was booked out, beside the bookings in and out of the 17th and the 16th, particularly the book out from 8 o'clock up to 2:30 in the morning, did he eat anything?
Otoha lemoncha ka 8:05 hoseng ka di 8 yang go tla o fitlela a tlo boa gape hoseng ka 2:30 le lela mpa tšao ya ka gano.
O bolela nnete a no bolela nnete gore se ne re sija ne re ja le yena se re nwang ne re nwa le yena. Ka se mo tlogela bala ke tla la sona maphodisa a mabe.
No, we are not cruel policemen. Whatever we had for as food, we shared with him. And whatever we drank with him. He mustn't paint us as bad policemen.
We let him much our Ntanzi unyagoja which brand. I had a KFC, Ramrekela watch.
We also asked him which brand he preferred, and we would make his choice and would buy it for him so that we could eat. I thought, see to my seat, and I also pose na. Futi sasimbuzu uti yi na aitanda ashu tutanda nebese kuthenga kona ke lokho ebese kuyadliwa.
If that question was not asked, it would not have been brought before the attention of this court. And now I can as I've taken the instruction, accused number 2 told me that he did not eat anything as from the day he was arrested on the 16th.
Na to fatshana ha ona ntho a e dileng go tloga tšatši a swarwa ka di 16.
No, wait, before you answer. This court listened to evidence about him being fed by this particular witness. I don't know if you were in court.
Which one?
I say I had evidence to the effects in chief when he was testifying that he actually was the one who shared his food with accused number 2. Am I quoting correctly, sir?
Oh, can it, my lord?
That is correct.
When I was
my lord.
listening.
My lord,
No.
it might have slipped my mind, but
Yeah, fine.
the person that I remember talking about sharing food was accused number 1 with
Ask him, maybe I'm wrong then. Ask him whether it's number 2 or number 1. Sir, were you referring to accused number 1 or number 2?
O bolela ka molato wa tšwa mathomo kapa bobedi.
Lo ho no bobedi.
Yeah.
Today I'm speaking about the second accused number 2.
My lord,
Okay, let's
I don't
continue.
doubt what the court is, but I'll verify.
Yeah, it's
it.
not.
Thank you. Let's move now to after 2:30.
A re lebelela ka morago ga first 2.
We go to page 8.
A re go page 8.
Serial number?
Can I have the serial number?
I think it's 532. It's 532.
Yes.
532.
Do you see that?
Okay.
Yes, I can see it.
What time was it booked out?
But o lantšhwa ka nako mang?
More suspect charged, not back.
Eh?
Sorry?
532 means 235 suspect charged.
532 says the suspect was charged.
Within 2 hours after you brought him back at 2:30.
Ka mora 2 hours after le mo mošeditše.
It's only 5 minutes.
No, it's only 5 minutes.
Is that not 0450?
If you will like a serial number 531, that 2026, 19.
531.
Sorry?
So 532 is 0450.
0235. Suspect charged. 532.
Okay, in 5 minutes, after 5 minutes you charge him.
Yes.
So the following day you took him to, he was transferred to Fort Loras.
Ka morago mo judge le latelang le le la Misha Fort Loras.
Ke sa letšatši le tee mara fapana ka hour ka re metšitše ka 10 to 5.
No, it is still the same day. It's just a difference in our time because we took him out.
10 to 5.
We took him out at 10 to 5 on the 19th of June. So we long a lot ngoba kuhlukane ikhathi nje uma samkhipha ngo 10 to 5
To Fort Loras court.
lebele Misha Fort Loras.
What, when you booked him out, under which cast number?
Lebele Munchaka case number
160 of 10, 2018.
163 of 10 of 2018. Samkhipha ngecala letho 163 of 10 of 2018.
So
That means he was transferred to a wrong court.
Gore uba isitshe korong esenyo.
ka tshepa gore nakwela ke utshaking tate ba loi re tlhalositse gore ke ile ka fonela ke brigadier Linda fro gore re fete Moroka police station.
Like I said, when I was asked questions by Mr. Baloy, I explained that we were called by the Brigadier Geninda, informing us that we needed to go to Morocco.
I understand that. My question is, when you booked him out to be transferred to Fort Loras court under cast number 163 of 10, 2018, you were transferring this accused person to a wrong court. Answer the question, answer is it yes or no?
No, ngiyaka honore ginete ka basemnete rekere hale monchaka case number 163 of 10 of 2018 imisha kwa forong ya go foslora e be se ka kgetsi e leng yone where forong e seng yone
Asinete.
No, that is not true. Because he went to court on that day. Yeah, but why?
All right. Can you please give me the cast number where accused was charged with possession of drugs?
Before what?
Possession of drugs.
Kupa orboche nomoro ya khetsimo mlato fajaileng abe mlato o valedi dibash.
This case number 278 of 6, 2020.
278 of 6.
No, sorry. 534 of 6, 2020.
The case number is 534 of 6 of 2020. The number of 534 of 6 of 2020.
So was he charged under the cast number?
I remember that was the case.
So you are not sure? We are not sure.
I don't know Chachi.
Sorry?
I don't know Chachi.
Let me say he was charged.
All right. The SAP 14 capital letter A notice of right in terms of that docket 534 06 2020.
No, we'll have to check that when the docket comes. I know this is a specific docket.
So are you referring to this matter which was ultimately not placed on the court roll of First Lawrence?
That is correct.
Yes. All right. Now we'll pause on the basis of the call that you received from Brigadier Ginenda and instructed to go to Moroka police station.
Moroka police station.
Statement Sakasiri. After the lower our court, will Adumela or no? I would Adumela Brigadier. What's ever seen? Nakamana to Apla. That is why I refit Lamoro. Here, after ritual, Wakaltu mining, after our field statement.
After we came from the mine in Cultureville where we received the statements,
we are which are Brigadier Ntanzi, which are Brigadier. Now, whatever Simon, I don't see in detail.
The Brigadier said, Mr. Ntanzi said to the Brigadier that he has some information about the death of Sam Zomir, but I'm not going to go deep into that. Umsola uti wajela ubrigadier ukuthi kukhona ulwazi analo mayelana nokubulawa kaSenzomir kodwa ngifuna ukugxila kulo.
Sir, when you were asked after you verified the whereabouts of accused number on the 26th, all right, let me just put it this way. Were you present personally when accused number 2 was discussing such with Brigadier Ginenda to say he has a knowledge?
When Mlato Vaja Brigadier Ginenda are on a late Brigadier Guinness. Wena o bola gona wa ikwela ka tsebetsa gawe ge a bolala le Brigadier Guinness ga tseo. Yes, I was present. Yebo ngangikona umsola etshela Brigadier Guinness uthi unolwazi mayelana nokushona kasenzo.
There's a question that was asked. The reason why I'm saying this and the reason why I'm going to argue for the rejection of that statement. There's a question that was asked from one of the officers as to how did accused number 2 related to Brigadier Gininda as to in terms of making a confession. How did he reach him? Now we are bringing the answer in terms of that statement you made on the 25th of October.
Statement about Gam Coalition at 25 October or Mulato Facha, Willa Mulala Yang, Brigadier Gininza, or Unaditsi.
There is sorry.
I'm sorry, Malato, is the court, please. I don't know to which officers my learned friend is referring to, but the evidence of Sergeant Mukhan is clear that it was only him and Brigadier Gininda, Sergeant Muhola, and Mabena during that occasion.
Yeah, sir.
My Lord, I'll refer back to the questions that I've asked from Mapumulo or Jonathan, Sergeant Jonathan, Constable Jonathan.
Jonathan knows nothing. That's his evidence. He was just an escort. He had nothing.
The question, my Lord, he denied, I understand.
Yeah.
He was not going to accept. But the only question I asked, the practical part of the question was whether, how did accused number 1, as he got instruction from Gininda to take accused number 1 to Rapado, how did accused number 2 communicated with Brigadier Gininda? There was no answer from him. He could not answer that because he was not part of the conversation.
There was no answer from him.
Now I want to explain the reason why I raise an objection on that statement is because a statement was made after I've asked that question from Jonathan. He's now bringing the answer from the question I've asked from Jonathan. May I just put it this way? Let me put it this way.
I think President,
At the boardroom, accused number 2 denied his involvement.
Yes.
That is correct.
You went to his workplace. You were satisfied with the statement given by the HR manager.
I'm saying that in his denial, he said that he wants to take us to his work where they're going to confirm where he was on that day. Yes,
I'm covered with that part. My concern was that accused number 2, before Gininda drove with Sergeant Muhola, this is his instruction that you and Mabena, after you had a discussion with Brigadier Gininda, you asked accused number 2, you in person, you asked accused number 2 the direction back to Rustenburg because you wanted to take him back to the place where you arrested him.
I would be the Brigadier Gininda to Sipila, the Sergeant Muhola. When Kawena, we love Sha Mulato Faja, or we, or it's a lie where Rustenburg is a Bilavia. You go revealing a well.
Is it not the opposite, Mr. Gomez?
My Lord,
Is it not the opposite? That accused number 2 was the only person who knew where he works, namely Sebanye mine.
That's correct.
He didn't know with his brothers Mabena.
That's correct.
And according to how I understood the evidence, he, number 2, is the one who was showing them Jegalapa, Rulalapa,
Correct.
right up to the mine.
Yes.
Right.
The
But you see, wait. He is the one who, with Mabena or Mahoni, who went to Bokeng police station. Now you are putting it to him that number 2 showed them how to get to Rustenburg. Are you with me?
I'm with you, my lord.
Yes.
May I just clarify that?
That's it, yeah.
According to the instructions of accused number 2,
Right.
after Kininda, Mohane, and Mabena were satisfied that he was not at the workplace,
Right.
that's when they decided to take him back. Actually, that was the time when they decided to release him. That means to the satisfaction of what they got from the human resource manager, to release accused number 2 on the benefit of the information that was given to them. That's when this witness asked accused number 2 to take him back to Rustenburg. They wanted to release him.
I see, okay. You can.
That's my version.
Can you please repeat the version so
All right.
bit by bit?
Bit by bit. Accused number 2, Firstly. he denied from the bedroom in the killing of Senzo Mayu. He denied that.
Hana ho bolaya Senzo me.
And there was no follow-up after that denial, except... May I proceed?
Ha hona se sileng sa diwa ka mora ha hore a bolele bjao ka ntle ka gore
The time, except when he was asked as to where was he on the 26th of October. He
Right.
answered by saying he was at the workplace.
ka ntle ka gore o pele ba mmotsitse gore ba le kae ka di 26 yena a re o ba le moshomong.
Then the following day, you took him to the workplace in Carltonville, not in
Kala-
Western Area.
Ka letšatši le latelang le le la mo tšea la mo iša mošomong
You made your own investigations
le le la dira dinyakišišo tša lena fao
until you were finished with the statement
go
by the
fitlhe-
human resource manager.
go fitlhelela le fetša ka statement sa human resource manager.
After that, you convene a meeting amongst yourself.
Ka morago moo le ile la ba le meeting wa bolena
Kininda, Mohola, yourself, and Mabena.
e be le Kininda Mohola wena le Mabena.
According to his instruction, there was no discussion between Kininda and accused number 2 in relation to the admission of any particular information relating to the death of Senzo Mayu.
Molatofatša re yena ga ona nako a nka ba a bolela ka yena ka gore o na le tsebo ya go ka lehu la Senzo Mayu.
After Kininda and Mohola departed,
Ka morago gore Kininda le Mogola ba sepele
you then asked accused number 2
ba re wena o ile wa bošiša molatofatša wa bobedi
the direction back to Rustenburg.
gore a le bontšhe tsela ya go boela ko Rustenburg.
To him, he was under the impression that you were satisfied with the explanation and you were going to release him.
Ka mokgwa a bolelang ka gona ka mokgwa ba nagana ka gona o re wena ena o ba nagana gore le kgotsofetše ka se a ileng a le tlhalosetša sona ebile le be le nyaka go mmušetša gae le ile mo lokolla.
Ntate Mogomeso, kgopela gore client ya gago e botše nnete a se ka bolela maaka ka gore
I'd like to ask that your client tell you the truth. He mustn't lie to you.
ge re tšwa ka jareteng ya mine
When we left the yard of the mine,
šetse re kry le bohlatse bja gore ba se go mmerekong
we already had the evidence that he was not at work.
re phakile ka ntle ga mine mo gating.
We parked outside the premises of the mine at the gate.
Then a botša brigadier Kininda gore o le go pala bala ga Gininda ka rena le mo koloing ga rena a tle mo koloing ya rena ga re ba spena le mabele.
Well, he asked to speak to Brigadier Gininda, and they had to come into our car because we're with Mapena.
So atla Brigadier Gininda mo tsona bothata ke eng Ntanzi.
When he arrived, Brigadier Gininda asked him what was the problem.
A re bale ka gore mo mshomo wa ga ba ntatola be ke seo.
And he said, well, since my work confirms that I was not at work,
Go pela go botsa nnete.
can I please tell you the truth?
O me Brigadier Gininda will amiletsa di tokelo tsa gagwe
Then the
gape.
Brigadier Gininda read him his rights again.
So close bolelago e be le gore ke nnete fela, and then ya fe a mmotsa, and then a tswela pele a bolela ganyane ke Brigadier Gininda mo emisa
Well, Brigadier then told him that what he's going to say must be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And then he started talking, but Gininda stopped him as he said, stop right there.
o mba mmotsa gore no tse dintsi ka gore nna ke nna mophenyi ke tla nyaka officer e neutral.
Well, he said, going further, since I am the investigating officer in this case, I will need that this be performed by somebody that is neutral.
o mme a re mmotsa gore in a form of confession e belele ka Sezulu a ke tsona Zulu confession e o e belela ga ke a se tsebaganyana a mo tlhalosetsa.
And then he spoke about the confession, but I don't know how to put that in Zulu. Even I understood, because I understand Zulu a little bit.
o me e re kgaogana a mmotsa gore na o kgotsofetse Ntanzi, na re ee kgotsofetse.
And then when we parted, he said, Mr. Ntanzi, are you satisfied? And Mr. Ntanzi confirmed that he was satisfied.
nka bo kgonega ba re sa tsene mabena wa tsogana a tla tlo tlhaloša a ke ba tlhatsega ka mo, because ntho e bolela ke Ntanzi a se yone o botsa maaka.
If it were possible, I would get Sergeant Mabena to rise again and come and explain and be my witness here, because what Mr. Ntanzi is saying is not true.
e rarogana ke berekele gore ne ke tla o nyaka motho a o tša confession.
When we parted, the brigadier said, I'm going to look for a person who's going to take the confession.
Then o tla mfounela
And then he would phone me.
le yena ba mo tlhalosetša kumele.
And then they explained to him that is Mr. Ntanzi, and he agreed.
Okay. Sir, according to the booking of 2:30 when he was booked in at Pretoria North, there was an entry that he was supposed to be transferred to Vosloorus. If accused number 2 intended to make a confession, was it necessary to transfer him to Vosloorus court?
Hello, Ramlatfato, where Niagobola, Nito, Amagala Mlatu, Ubasancha Ishwe go Vosloorus court.
O bolo tšatšila o feta mo entering with your suspect charged court.
Can you please answer my question?
Ke nyaka go tlhalosetša go nyaka gore ke tle le yona botse nkwešiše.
No, I want to explain it to you. I want to explain it step by step so that you can understand me.
e suspect charged wa tšwa dibukeng bja tša Pretoria North.
When it says suspect charged, he is then taken out of the books of Pretoria North.
That is when Brigadier Gininda a founa ke kry-ile motho wa go dira confession fetang Moroka.
That is when Sergeant Gininda called and said, I found a person who can take the confession. Please go via Moroka.
Sir, my question is now, amongst or in all the exhibits where you relate the movement of accused number 2, is there any entry where you specifically mentioned that accused number 2 is booked in and out under case number 636 of 10/2014? Is there, and I'll give you a chance to go through your exhibits, is there any recording under case number 636 of 10/2014?
Ayo.
No, there is nothing like that.
Mara
Yeah,
ka ge šetše o nkwešiše gore ke rele ge re itšwa ka police station Colonel Ginda called, I think really Rapaju for over before Liaqua. Live with them Morocco. Morocco don't have a roots any for confession.
Well, what happen?
Pretoria North.
When we left Pretoria North,
Brigadier Ginda Ufoni or like a Canelo Moto, Mara before they are caught, Fitang, Morocco.
Brigadier Gininda called and said he has found someone. So before you go there, go via Morocco.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm still with my question. When, according to your evidence, when accused number 2 was taken to Morocco police station for a confession, for the taking of a confession, there was no entry to say he is booked in at this time under this reference or reference number under case number 636 of 10/2014 for a confession. There's no such.
Case A 636 of 10/2014. Are you talking about it, Morocco?
Correct.
All right. No,
that will be explained by Brigadier Gininda. Then explain how they arranged with Colonel Rapatu.
Okay, please forget about Brigadier Gininda now and Rapatu. They did not bring accused number 2 to Morocco police station. I'm referring to a recording that was supposed to be made on the occurrence book that accused number 2 was booked in under CAS 636 of 10/2014. There's no such, unless you prove me wrong.
Sa gore molatofatšwa ga ngwalwa tlase ga case A 636 of 10/2014 dinyaka fela o no mpotsa gore no ga o bjalo ene o mpontšhe mo dibukeng gore o ngwetšo kae. I do accept that he wasn't recorded.
Every time, according to these exhibits and the records, if they are not referring to a court appearance, they simply say booked out for investigation, booked in for investigation, after investigation.
Can the hour we share court more on a fellow Bamuchi, Valo, the Adiakish, or Bamucha, Camera, by the Adiakish?
Again, I'm a go to Again. Oyaka officer young confession or Inyaga Motona at Levian. So I was not instructed to work in Fitzgerald. And Morocco is not my place. If I want average Colonel Rapaju or Mohan,
no, it is usually according to what the person who wants to take the confession instructs. Because, I mean, if he had told me that I should take him to the cells, I would have taken him to the cells.
There's nothing that prevented Jonathan at Morocco police station from making such an entry, because he's the one who took, according to your evidence, he's the one who took accused number 2 to Colonel Rapat, not you.
Constable Jonathan or Angwale or because I get a come and now village again. I'm sharing a Misha for Colonel Rapat.
So Jonathan again.
Well, I can answer it this way. Jonathan was requested by me
because he
was not involved and knew nothing about this case.
And Brigadier Ginina Colonel Rapat.
Well, I want to reiterate that Brigadier Keninsa and Colonel Rapado never gave me instruction to take him to the cell. All they said to me was, bring him where I am.
I've got the standing orders of the IO, of the colonel who's taking a confession. I'll come to that, to relevant people. But my concern, let's just be honest and frank to the court to say there is no recording under 636 of 10. Then we'll move on.
I don't know, I don't know 636 of 10.
ya dumela sa go botsa ga go na le lebaka le lore brigadier general come in a o tla tlo mmotšiša gore o tlile bjang gore a fe instruction ye so.
Well, I do accept, but then there is a reason, and they should bring Brigadier Kininda to come here and explain why it happened this way.
All right. I'm not yet done with my, but I just want to draw your attention on the day in which accused number 2 was formally charged under case number 66 of 10/2014.
But I go to church mo mlatu fatwaileng bya mlatu semusho was 66 of 10/2014. Funupinzela kuleli langa umhlazane umsoda esethosa igala umthetho kuleli cala 66 of 10/2014.
He was charged on the 26th of October 2020.
Wela bya mlatu ka 26 October 2020.
How is that possible?
My Lord,
He was charged on the day he died. The deceased died.
I mean 2020, my Lord. I said 2020.
Oh, I see. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. 2020.
2020.
Okay, yeah.
I mean 6 years. How many years? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 6 years.
And
He was charged after 6 years.
A6.
Do you know who charged him?
What's that man Mutata?
Rafo e tlhaloša ga pankwishiša.
Do
Can
you
you
know
please
who
explain?
charged accused number 2 under case number 636 of 10/2014?
Was over Gimangaling Chacham Latufachaka KHC 636 of 10 of 2014?
Nka botša gore na ka tšatši le fe.
Can I just ask on which day?
I said on the 26th of October 2020.
Got it 26 October
That's the
2020.
day he was charged, formally charged.
That's actually Island Aveshwa, VM Lato Simosho.
Ke nna
I was the one who did it. Yeah, but I mean, I'm just a color.
On the day.
That's actually
ska ro wa Valeria ke nna
yes.
Valeria police station.
Yes, he was at Valeria police station. So I was the one who charged him.
So the following day appeared in court.
That
The 27th.
is correct.
May I approach accused number 2, my Lord?
Yes. Yes.
Accused number 2, my Lord, wanted to confirm the date in which the witness charged him on the 26th of October 2020.
netefatša gore nyako gore a o hwetše bonnete ba gore leile la motšhatša ka di-26 tša October 2020.
ya ke nnete ka gore ke nna be ke le in charge ya gore ke mophenyi ke motlhokomele ebile.
Well, that is true because I was the one who was in charge of the investigation and to look after him on that day. Yebo kwakuyimina ngoba kwakuyimina wafanele enze uphenyo futhi ke kube yimina omgcinayo ngalela.
So 48 hours lapsed.
So 48 hours ile yafika.
According to the rights to be charged within 48 hours and to be brought to court on the next available court day.
What 48 hours ya gore a charge we ile afita di judge la gore a isho go Rome.
Le bolela ka molato ofe?
Which case are you referring to?
Because
I'm sorry, my friend.
Because I do not understand which case you are referring to.
The answer you were giving, for which question were you answering?
Araba pushef.
Por e go botšiša gore kenya gore a ke go biditša go botša ke nyaka na for case 636 na go mtšhetša ka o ile court the phone ya a ke tsone gore 48 hours expired e lapse ke efeng gona mo.
I don't understand which 48 hours you're talking about that is lapse because if we are talking about case number 636 of 10 of 2014, he went to the court the following day.
For the benefit of your information, let me just give you this information. When a person is arrested, you understand, under Section 40 of the Criminal Procedure Act,
Section 40 of the Criminal Procedure Act,
with or without a warrant, must be charged within 48 hours according to the Constitution. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do understand.
He was not arrested on the 26th of October 2020.
26th October 2020.
Do you understand?
That is correct.
But instead he was arrested on the 16th of June 2020. Do you understand that?
16th June 2020.
So 48 hours lapsed years after that. Do you understand?
48 hours
Oh, months, sorry. Months. Do you understand?
Let me answer you in this fashion. When we arrested Ntanzi, it was not for the matter of sense of Meima.
If
you can look at the indictments, I don't believe they are far behind. They were around those days.
There were cases,
when we did charge him eventually about this case of Senzo Maiwa, there were other cases that he had been charged with before.
Maybe you misunderstood the provisions of the Act. He must be charged within 48 hours according to the Act.
If one is feeling SAP 14, was Molato says we were case for 636 of 10/2014. Negative email elapsed 48 hours. We are level SAP 14A. 636 of 636 of 10/2014.
If you can look at the docket, you'll be able to find out when I gave him the SAP as 14A regarding the case of 66 of 10/2014 of Senzo Maiwa.
Sir, we cannot play. Okay, let me just go.
Sorry, Mr. Gomezuru.
Yes.
Just it's a question of law.
Yes.
According to this witness, the arrests, if I must term it that way, of Mr. Senzo, Mr. Ntanzi,
Yes, my lord.
went in sequence to what he was eventually charged with. So it
Yes.
says necessarily when he was charging accused number 2, it didn't follow that the charge related to his arrest on the 16th. Am I understanding you correct, sir?
Ke o pusha ga botse.
Because there were other contemporaneous charges which were being preferred to Mr. Ntanzi. For instance, the Pokane case of allegedly drugs, the Pokane case of allegedly the 13 rifle bullets. In other words, sometimes, and I'm just saying as I understand the law, sometimes it happens that you charge a person today, for instance, and then he doesn't appear in court within 48 hours because there's an intervening sequence of another arrest. He can tell you, he was a prosecutor, where the investigating officer actually withdraws the charge. And then he just puts a hand on you, as you know, Mr. Nisi, puts a hand on you and charges you with another offense. Are you
Yes,
with me?
I'm
You've
with
never
you,
experienced such a sequence?
My lord, I
Okay,
have.
fine. I was just mentioning that.
Different, may I just address the court as well in terms of
It's okay.
how I understand the law?
Yeah.
A confession, it's when the accused or the confessor admits all the elements of that particular offense.
Now we're addressing two different things.
Now, my lord,
I'm addressing the arrest and the charging, not
may I be given a chance to explain? Because if a confession was taken on the 19th of June 2020, the state or the police at that time or the investigating officer had sufficient evidence to take the matter to court. Had sufficient evidence. Instead, even if there are certain other matters, what should have been done was to take, after the confession has been made and to the satisfaction of how it was complied with Section 217, place the matter on the court roll
No, fine. I
for
agree.
further investigations if they still need further investigation. Then they will add charges as the investigations carry on. That's how I understand the law, my lord.
Yeah, no, quite.
Thank you.
You know, we just.
The reason why I'm saying he was supposed to be brought to court within 48 hours.
Lebaka le re ke re o ba sa charge se gorong se e feta di hour tse 48.
A prima facie case has been established by the state in that a confession has been made.
Ure retsi e sa e ka se la ba ya ganiwa e be tlisitswe mo gorong ka lebaka la gore ne ba mo gitse molao.
But on the 19th, after the confession was taken,
Ka di 19 ka mora gore confession e tšewe
to my surprise,
ntwe maka tšanke
accused is further brought to Vosloorus police station. To Vosloorus
o
court.
iswa police station asa iswa.
Please, my lord, I think my learned friends putting a wrong proposition to the accused. The position as set out by the court is correct. It doesn't mean that when a confession has been obtained, that person must now appear within 48 hours. It's during the course of the investigation, more evidence is being gathered, and the investigating officer will come and explain as to when was accused taken to when was accused charged and why at that particular time. But the proposition as put by my learned friend is incorrect.
May I reply by saying, my lord, accused number 2 was not formally charged. On the 19th of June 2020, he made a confession before a kennel. Accused number 2, after a confession has been made, the principle of law in terms of Section 35 of the Constitution 108 of 1996 prescribes that any arrested person, it's referring to any arrested person, must be brought before a court of law. Formally, he is arrested because he made a confession on the 19th of June. That's why the state established a prima facie case. He is arrested. The Constitution provides a right that must protect the accused, that he must be brought to court within 48 hours. As per your entry, I'm making submission. As per the entries or the exhibits, there's nothing on the exhibits that records case number 636 of 10/2014 that has been recorded on the occurrence book. Number two, in the absence of such recordings, a confession, that means my submission is that if that confession was made at the police station, there was going to be an entry. But because the version of the accused person says it was made at Orlando, that is the reason why we don't have that entry, because it was made in an open area. Do you understand it?
Yes, I do understand you.
So,
Can I answer you?
in conclusion, before you go to, I want to emphasize the right that has been infringed of not bringing accused number 2 to court within 48 hours.
As a good place, my lord, we don't want to belabor the point, but we pointed out that the proposition by Malene Ntanzi is incorrect. He is correct insofar as his proposition that an arrested person must be brought to court within 48 hours. But Section 35 distinguishes between an arrested person and a detainee, and the witness has clearly said that there's nowhere an entry that said accused was arrested for 636, and that should answer Malene Ntanzi.
Mr. Mgabezeli, is it not maybe proper that you and all the councils address me, subsequently will have to address me on that very exigency, because it appears I understand the law differently from you.
Yes, my lord.
And I don't know, Mr. Baloi also appears to understand it differently from the both of us. So Mr. Mnisi and Mr. Malo and Mr. Monye, they'll prepare argument on that exigency. A detained person, an arrested person, etc.
Can you state
and whether those rights encapsulated in Section 33F may be terminated. Just showed you an exigency where
Can you state
wait, no. I want you to address me. Like I was saying to Mr. Mnisi, where before he appears in court, the charge is withdrawn. After he has made a Section 35F statement, then he's brought to court on another matter. It happens every day in South Africa. A guy is murdered in Joburg. They find the killer in Neisner. Like when this matter was not put on the roll by the prosecutor, saying it's a case of Nongom. Sometimes a prosecutor like Mr. Mnisi will put that matter on the roll of Neisner to transfer the case to Johannesburg. Am I correct, sir? Yes.
But that has never been done.
No, you've heard me. Yes. So let's prepare the law, because we have a different conception of the law that if he hasn't appeared in Nongoma, that's the end of the story, there's an irregularity, etc., etc., etc. It depends on the intention of the prosecutor, like Mr. Baloi. what he wants to achieve. Okay. So you can prepare argument on that, sir.
Yes.
No problem. And all of you can prepare argument relating to that exigence.
My Lord, in relation to the...
Hello?
Clarification, ma'am.
Yeah.
When will you be expecting to argue this point?
No. You'll argue this matter after the argument, when you are addressing me on all the aspects relating to a trial within a trial. It pertains to that. Okay.
But my Lord...
But you can make your submissions in the meantime. I'm not stopping you.
No, but my Lord, I was just asking frankly as to if such an exigence is not argued, and we still...
No, you can put it, you are at liberty
Yes.
to put anything to this witness the way you understand the law. I'm not stopping anybody. I may be wrong,
Yes.
you know, and you are right.
No. Can you take a break, my Lord?
What time is it?
1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock, my Lord.
1 o'clock.
Yes.
Let me tell you about, and it has nothing to do with this
Yes.
experience, with my cases. When I was still defending guys charged under the Terrorism Act, the Act would say, Section 33 of the Internal Security Act.
Section 28.
Yeah, you're allowed to be held incommunicado for how many days? 3 months or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, after 3 months, they charge you, these guys. They'll charge you and then bring you to court. And when you get into the box, the investigating officer tells the prosecutor that you're withdrawing the charge against Mr. Mnisi. You have experienced it. And immediately thereafter, when the client is preparing to go down into the cell, the sergeant puts a hand on his right shoulder and says, I'm rearresting you for a certain other charge. And there was nothing you could do. It was lawful. You can argue, but that rearrest was lawful because the other charge on which this guy was arraigned in court has been withdrawn. Okay, 2 o'clock.